Hey guys, DeonJoke7 here, and today we're going to be doing a different type of video. This is actually a Pokemon related video, so if you guys are not into Pokemon, I suggest you wait for my next video next week that most likely won't feature anything Pokemon related, but I've been wanting to make a video like this for some time now. So this video is going to be my essential thoughts on every single Pokemon antagonist. But before we start off this video, I would just like to say that everything I'm about to say is not scripted or anything. This is just coming from the back of my head. So excuse me if it sounds like I'm kind of rambling on for some of these guys. And second of all, this isn't exactly every single main antagonist. This isn't going to be covering the side story, the side games. This isn't going to be like the like games like Pokemon Rangers or Mystery Dungeon. They're not going to be including villains from the side games. These are all main core series games. So sorry if Mirror B or whatever isn't on this list. Third of all, my final point is that Lusamine or Faba will not be on this since they're part of the Aether Foundation, and according to the Bulbapedia, which is where I get most of my information on about Pokemon, the Aether Foundation does not actually count as a villainous team, since Lusamine was controlled by the Nihiligo, and the executives and stuff, they were just following under Lusamine's orders, since she is the president of the Aether Foundation. So forgive me if you guys don't see Lusamine on this list, and if you guys are curious to know why, that's why. So let's start off the video. Now, first off, we have the first ever antagonist in a Pokemon game, Giovanni, the one and only. He's the villain of Team Rocket and Team Rainbow Rocket, and my opinions on him, first of all, he just looks menacing, and I love how he is basically considered the central main antagonist of it all. He's kind of like the Thanos of Pokemon, so I love him for that. His goals are pretty cliche. He just wants to be the big bad in the whole world. He's the essential let me rule this world kind of villain, but I don't know, the way he acts, and the way he acts in like his debut games, and the way he acts in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, he actually seems pretty like his character is actually really good on how he portrays his wishes. And it's actually, I'm pretty sure it's revealed in the Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, forgive me if I'm wrong, but it's actually revealed that he's actually the Giovanni of our world, because Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, although it's supposed to take place in another dimension, you can consider Giovanni like the main. You can consider that Giovanni our Giovanni, since he brought the villains from the other dimensions who successfully fulfilled their dreams. So that's actually really cool. Not much to really say about him. In the anime, he doesn't really get that many, appearances, so I can't really speak on his character in the anime. So I've only been used to him in the games. I do love how in Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and Fire Red and Leaf Green, where he is actually he's just a big mafia boss, and it turns out that he actually was somehow the gym leader, the 8th and final gym leader. This guy that you've been trying to take down for some time turns out to be the essential final boss before you battle the Pokemon League, the Elite Four and the Champions. So I think for people who were never introduced to Pokemon and stuff, when they first played the very first Pokemon games, when they first came out, they were just shocked to know that the overall boss of Giovanni was also your final trial to, you know, advance to the Elite Four. And I don't know, that kind of like arc is like, those are the types of, you know, surprises that I miss in Pokemon, because nowadays they just outright tell you who the villain is of the Pokemon game. So I'm just like, it's not really that surprising anymore. So I appreciate Giovanni for, you know, being like this mysterious figure in the first generation and their remakes. My thoughts on Maxie, the leader of Team Magma. I can't say I'm that much of a fan of his. I don't hate him per se, I just prefer Team Aqua over Team Magma, because I don't know, Maxie's character was just kind of he was always just a little weird to me, in my opinion. He was kind of one of those villains where it's like, oh hey, I'm the overall I am a genius and stuff like that. That's the vibe I got from him. Like, he didn't really seem like he wanted to actually conquer the world like Archie did, but he more seemed like he was just like, oh hey, I am an intelligent scientist guy who's also the leader of this very intelligent team here. And you know, I get that. I do get that's the point of Team Magma. They're supposed to be like the more, for Team Magma and Team Aqua, it's more brains versus bronze kind of thing. And you know, Magma being obviously the brain. I mean, you have to admit their plan was actually a lot smarter than Team Archie's, because both of their plans were stupid. I mean, Archie wanted to, you know, get rid of all of the Earth's water and just, you know, make it basically a living hell. Because I mean, let's be real, like Groudon's Desolate Land, like it must be extremely hot when that Desolate Land is, where his Desolate Land ability is activated. So I get what he was trying to do, but he needs to but they both need to realize that we get our resources from both land and the water. We need both to survive. So yeah, I really don't see what his plan was there. I mean, what was supposed to be the plan B if Groudon wasn't, you know, being cooperative? Like, would he just accept his death? Because I mean, let's be real, Groudon was just abruptly awakened from his slumber. I mean, he's got to be pretty pissed. So I'm pretty sure he would send like some sort of precipice blades towards Maxie's direction or something. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Maxie just seems a little weak in my opinion. Like, I mean, in the anime he's a freaking savage, but I mean, the one in the games, he's just kind of, I don't know. I always found him kind of annoying, especially. I actually liked Courtney. Courtney is my favorite like member of Team Magma, and Tabitha. I mean, who names their son Tabitha? Like, you must not like your kid. But you know, like, I don't hate Maxie. Again, I don't hate Maxie. I just think Archie overall is the better antagonist for Gen 3 and its remakes. My man, Archie. Now, let's get to the design, which I completely forgot to mention for Maxie's part, so I'll kind of wrap it up here for a quick second. My overall opinion on Maxie's design is that, you know, his early design, his Gen 3 and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon design, I don't really like them that much, because I mean, he just looks like a generic villain in my opinion. But they really fixed his design with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Like, I really loved how he actually looked like an evil scientist and stuff. So I actually appreciate his Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, you know, his Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire design. Now for Archie, I really do not like his Gen 3. Like, I like his Gen 3 and I like his Gen 3 design and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon design, but I definitely prefer the other one where he actually looks like a very flamboyant pirate, I would say. I mean, come on, the man is dressed in like some real, he's dressed in some pretty bright blue. in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And I don't know, according to Pokemon Generations, this man was just crazy. So his character overall is actually my favorite because, I mean, yeah, like Ruby and Sapphire, I mean, he was just, you know, your generic evil pirate dressed fellow. But in Omega Ruby, in Oras and Pokemon Generations, he was actually very expressive, which I love. That's what I love from antagonists. Like, my two favorite types of antagonists is like the ones who just let all the crazy come out, and then there's the ones who just they're the ones who are like really manipulative. Like, they're like Dio Dio from JoJo or Doflamingo from One Piece. Like, they're very manipulative. They know how to easily trick people. They know how to easily trick their prey, presumably. That's the type of villain I like. And then there's also the villains who are just outright crazy, like Archie, and they don't give a crap about what people think about them. They're incredible. Like, they know they're crazy, and they know that the world sees them as crazy, so they're gonna let all the possible crazy out, which is why I really appreciate Archie here. And I mean, I just like Team Aqua better, to be honest. I love how they're more pirate themed and stuff. I as a kid, I was always obsessed with, like, I'm a science guy, so that's why I kind of like Team Magma, but I was more into, like, you know, marine related stuff. So, you know, I was always fascinated with pirates and stuff as a little kid, which is why I like shows like One Piece and stuff, since they're kind of themed around pirates and all that. So I really appreciate Archie's whole pirate-esque attire. Excuse me, my voice is getting a little raspy there. I need some water. But I forgot what else I was gonna say about Archie. I also do like how no. Hold on. Let me word this better. I don't really like his goals, like his desires on why he's doing what he's doing, because I mean, we have Maxie, who actually made more sense because people will still be living on land and all that. But Archie wanted to flood the whole planet. Like, where would we live? Would we just live in submarines and freaking ships the whole time? Like, what was your plan? Like, I don't know. Something about eco-terrorists, because let's be real, that's what Maxie and Archie were. Something about eco-terrorists and video games and stuff. They just seem really stupid. Like, they don't actually think their plans through. Kind of like Emma Ross from Emma Russell from what's it called? From Godzilla King of the Monsters, because her goal was to, you know, let all the monsters run loose, wipe out humanity, and let the world, you know, and make the world a better place. Like, I mean, you do realize that you would end up being killed by these monsters as well, right? You know, they're one of the, like, but the thing I like about them is, like, they're kind of like a Thanos. Like, they believe what they're doing is the right thing to do, and, you know, they just have to eliminate whoever disagrees with them. So I really appreciate Maxie and Archie's, like, whole character in that when it comes to the whole eco-terrorist thing. Like, yeah, their plan's pretty stupid, but it's just what they genuinely believe is the right move to move the world to the next step, to the next level. Oh, the boss of Team Galactic, Cyrus. Now, I was never really a fan of Team Galactic, but I got tons of reasons to why that is. Now, first off, I was never really a fan of the whole, you know, I was never really a fan of Team Galactic, and I never really played Diamond, Pearl, or Platinum, so most of my opinion is going to be coming from Team Galactic, how they were portrayed in the anime, respectively. So, Cyrus, he was I just didn't like him. I'm sorry. I just didn't like him. I didn't like both his team. I didn't like both Team Galactic or Cyrus, so there was no redeeming qualities. Like, every time I battled them, I was just like, can they just shut up? Like, Team Galactic, first of all, what's with the bull haircuts? Like, don't get me wrong, the little galactic jumpsuits they wear, that's awesome. But like, out of all the universal hairstyles you could have gotten, you decided to go with a bowl haircut. I hope those are just wigs. Like, you know how like when Looker disguised himself as a Team Galactic grunt and he had the little bowl haircut wig. I hope it's just that, because like you really out here about to leave your house looking like a fool. Second of all, let me just talk about Cyrus's design. Okay, well, let me talk about his executives. Saturn, there was Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter. Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter, or I guess the correct order would be Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. But anyway, that's not important. That's not important. They actually look, and I actually like the executives better than Cyrus himself. Like, the grunts, stupid. Cyrus, stupid. My favorite of the bunch is Saturn, and in my headcanon, I always considered Saturn Cyrus's son, because I don't know. I just assumed since they both have blue hair, I just assumed they were like father and son, until I realized that Cyrus was like 27. So no way that he would be, because I always thought this man was at least, I don't know, 30 or 40. But if you look it up on Bulbapedia, his age is 27. I'll probably put a screenshot around here somewhere. But he's 27. If he's 27, why he look like that? Like, look at it. Look at this picture that I'm using to present him right now. Like, he got the little wrinkles, like he's been starving for like 27 years. Well, basically since he was born. He's been starving for a good like 3 years, Second of all, where are your eyebrows? Like, I get it. You hate this world. You hate humanity. But did you really have to shave off your eyebrows to express that? Like, I want to know why he got no eye. Where did his eyebrows go? I don't know. People without eyebrows, they terrify me. Like, I'm actually terrified if you don't got eyebrows. Like, where did they go? Who did your man dirty? Like, there's no way he just woke up one morning and be like, I'm gonna shave off my eyebrows now to show how edgy I am. Like, oh, like, you need to chill. You need to chill out. Second of all, his plan was just stupid. I'm sorry. Like, I get it. You hate people. That's okay. Like, there's a lot of people who claim they hate people, but I hated my problem isn't that. My problem is that his plan to fix his problem. It's like, he was one of those villains where he was like, emotion is weakness, which, honestly, I hate villains who say stuff like that. Like, the whole emotions are weakness. Like, that's such a cliche that I hate. Whenever I hear a villain say something like that, where they show, like, where, like, empathy or emotion is weakness, like, it just makes me cringe. Like, come on, you don't need to sound like an edgy teenage high schooler, like going through some breakup issues. Like, calm down. Second of all, he wanted to destroy the world. He wanted to basically kill off everyone, destroy the universe and make his own, dimension or universe that fits his appeal. Like, how are you gonna do that? Like, were you just gonna be the only human on the planet? Everyone else could just die? Because, like, that's basically what his goal were. I don't know. I don't really like that plan, because, like, first of all, Dialga and Palkia, you're talking about the gods of time and space. Giratina, who's basically Satan, and your plan indirectly involved Arceus, the god of the universe. Like, the god of the Pokemon universe. So, I don't know how you are going to control, gods, but I don't know. Cyrus is just stupid. I honestly did not like him. I guess it's because like I need to still play. I need to still play through Sinnoh so I can fix my opinion on that. I guess I can take the blame for me not liking Cyrus, but I don't know. Something like I don't know. I feel like he's just the same character from what I've played so far because I'm currently at like the 4th gym. So from what I've seen so far, he's still kind of like he's still just some edgy villain that he just got anger issues and he wants to destroy the world because of it. So that's the impression I got from Cyrus. Getsus, 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 Getsus. I really love his theme. Well, I don't really like his theme. I just love the part where they chant his name, but still, it's pretty cool. You gotta admit, like when you actually heard them like singing Getsus's name, like chanting Getsus's name in black and white for the first time, you gotta admit that sent chills down my spine, honestly. Now, Getsus is the perfect villain, honestly, because I mean, he's got, first of all, his design is very interesting. Like, did he lose his eye? Like, it makes you ask questions about what happened in his past life. Like, did he lose his eye? Did he lose his arm? Because his right arm is never shown, and there's actually theories stating like he has a deformed arm because he's never seen showing it. So that makes you think like, what happened to his arm? Now, I really love Getsus because the whole point of Team Plasma, from what I've understood from Black and White and Black 2 and White 2, well, mainly from Black and White, I loved how Team Galactic, not Team Galactic, Team Plasma, they were more of like a cult. They were more like a religious cult. They believed what they were doing was the right thing. He made N believe what he was doing was right. N was never evil. He was, set to be the king of Team Plasma, and, he wanted to their whole goal was to liberate Pokemon from humans. And I think that was actually a pretty interesting, that was a pretty interesting take for the Pokemon villains, because and that's what makes that's what makes them my third favorite when it comes to like the team levels. Now, the reason why, now I don't know how to word this. The whole liberation Pokemon thing, like, we had Team Rocket who just wanted to use Pokemon for for money, for profit and stuff. They wanted to rule Pokemon economics through selling Pokemon through the black market or whatever the heck they were doing. Team Magma wanted to get rid of the Earth's water, and I really don't know how we were gonna survive, because I mean, we need water to live, but whatever. Archie wanted to flood the freaking planet, which, again, how are we gonna live if we all drown to death? And Cyrus was just edgy. His planet was just edge. So I was actually relieved when we got a character like Getsus. At first, I never really liked Getsus because, I was kind of on the bandwagon to hate Black and White, but then I realized, for the people who hate Gen 5, I mean, I can understand if you hate the anime, but Gen 5 is actually, the game-wise, is actually really good. I haven't played Black 2 and White 2, so most of my opinions are going to be coming from the original. Well, I have played it, but I restarted it before I actually got to the whole Getsus plotline, but that's not important. I want to speak on behalf of the original games, Black and White, the first Black and White, because Getsus, his personality is amazing. He's what I expect a villain to be like. He is, like, he kind of reminds me of, like, those very religious, like, villains that you see in some shows where, they promise to have some sort of utopia where we can all live in happiness. Like, he convinced N that Pokemon liberation was the ideal plan, because that was N's dream. He wants Pokemon to live free and stuff, and he fed to N's expectations to to get what he wanted. He used his adopted son to get what he wanted. So, we had N, basically take over the Elite Four, but when you eventually beat N, he comes in and he reveals his true colors on like how he used to abuse N, like how he used to abuse N and stuff, like, and how he used to use him for his own purposes, and that just makes you want to defeat Getsus, and that's what makes him a perfect villain, in my opinion, because that he's honestly one on my top 3 behind Giovanni and the next villain who will be coming up soon, and it's not like Saunders, so I mean you kind of got an idea on who it is. Spoiler alert, is Guzma, but he is, I don't know, he's a villain where he actually makes you want to beat him. Like, he wasn't like you didn't feel obligated. You didn't really feel obligated to defeat Giovanni. You didn't feel obligated to defeat Maxie or Archie. You didn't feel obligated to defeat Cyrus. You felt, but you wanted. You didn't really feel obligated to defeat Getsus. You just wanted to beat him because of how abusive he was. Like, how he used his adopted son. Like, you don't do that with your kids, man. Like, adopted or not. Like, you don't do that with people in general, use them for your own goods. Like, so I loved him because of how villainous he actually was. He actually put the villainous in villainous team leader. So I actually really appreciate that. And the fact how his story continues in Black 2 and White 2, where he's still controlling team Neoplasma. I think that's what they're called now, Team Neoplasma or Neo Team Plasma, whatever. And the way they're dressed, the way that Team Plasma is dressed in Black 2 and White 2, it's kind of like revealing their true selves, because because unlike N, Getsus actually wanted to use the Pokemon to rule the world. He didn't really want to liberate humans from Pokemon. He wanted to make the humans weak, so that way no human could ever fight him and stuff. So that way he could rule the world to his own desire. So I don't know what he was planning on doing with N. He was probably gonna toss N off to the side, abandon him or something, and then he would take over as king of Team Plasma probably. So I don't know. I believe that Getsus, he's just a beautiful villain, in my opinion. Like his whole character is like the reason he is who he is. Like, we don't really get a backstory on him, but like his whole character is just you actually like him as a villain, but you also hate him as a person. My man, Lysander. Now, I didn't like Team Flare as a team because I just thought that they were too tacky, and they were just too tacky. Their style was just trash and stuff. But the villain, the main one of the team, like, I hated his executives and stuff. It was just Lysander who I liked. Team Flare is honestly my least favorite team. Well, actually no, I take that back. Galactic is my least favorite team, but Team Flare comes at a close second because, well, they were just tacky. But the villain, it was like one of those things where the team is actually just stupid, but the villain is the boss is actually the best part of the team. And I actually really liked how like the way that he explained his whole reasoning for doing what he was doing. It was like, it wasn't really like oh hey, I'm just evil because evil, because that's the whole thing with that's the only problem I had with Cyrus. Like, Cyrus, he was more like, for Cyrus, I just felt like he was just a bad guy just because bad guy. Giovanni, I mean you can kind of argue, you can probably bring the same argument for Giovanni, but I don't know. Giovanni, he actually seemed more genuine. Like, he was more like he was just, because like in Pokemon Origins, like, you know that flashback we see where like Giovanni actually used to be a trainer and how he used to have a Charmander of his own and stuff. It just made you believe, it gave you an idea of how it really was, because Giovanni was just, you know, he was just a trainer just like Red, but he got corrupted. Like he eventually took the wrong path, and he was just corrupted since then, which is why he's evil. I mean, Maxie and, you know, Archie, they're just freaking Thanos villains. They're freaking eco-terrorists. Cyrus was just bad guy because bad guy, but Lysander, from what I understand, he was just wronged by the world. He thought humanity was just messed up. He didn't just hate people because, well, people are bad, emotions are bad and stuff. He believed that there were good people. Like, he believed that there were a few good people on this planet, but he also felt like most of the world was corrupted. So he wanted to destroy the world and basically make a restart where, you know, he didn't exactly want to take over the world. He just wanted to, you know, he wanted to make the world a better place, but he just didn't make the right decision on how he wanted to do that. So I really feel for him as a character, because, you know, he wants to do the right thing, but he's not doing the right thing. Like, on a villainous standpoint, he is messed up. He wants to restart the ultimate weapon, you know, the weapon that basically took the lives of like hundreds of Pokemon. But then he wants to, like, those parts, it's just stupid. But then there's the whole, hey, like, I believe there are some good people on this planet, but most of the world is just corrupted, you know? And you can kind of relate to him, because that's how most people feel. Like, some like terrorists and stuff, or, well, not terrorists, I would say like some like murderers, serial killers, they just feel the reason that they do what they do is because they were wronged by the world, and that's what they do what they do. Like, you know, like psychopaths, like you can't really blame a psychopath of what they're doing, because, you know, the difference between a psychopath and a sociopath, I would say like Lysander is a psychopath. Okay, let me backtrack and like let me explain like the difference between a psychopath and a sociopath. Like, in short words, a psychopath is someone where it's like they don't really know that they're doing anything wrong, while a sociopath, they know exactly what they're doing is wrong, but they could care less about how it affects other people. They just, like, they kind of just kill for the joy of it, honestly. But, you know, Giovanni, you can kind of say like he's kind of a sociopath, because he knows exactly what he's doing is wrong, but he's Giovanni, he doesn't care. Maxie, again, Maxie and Archie, I guess you could say they're sociopath, because, I mean, I don't really know where you would put them, because you can say that they're psychopaths since they believe they're doing what's right. I know Cyrus is just a sociopath, because, like, he knows what he's doing is wrong. He just doesn't care. He just wants to get rid of everyone. Getsus is definitely a sociopath, because, I mean, come on, he reveals his true nature, so he's aware of what he's doing is wrong. But Lysander, I would say he's a psychopath, because he isn't really aware of what he's on, how the world would how the ultimate weapon would actually affect the world now. All he wants is a better place. He wants the perfect utopia, but, you know, the only way he can access this is if he basically kills like half of the population. He wants to Thanos snap us all. He wants to Dexit us all. Too soon? I'm sorry. Okay. We'll leave Sword and Shield out of this for once. But seriously, on a serious note, like, he really believed what he was doing was the right thing, and, you know, in the end where he supposedly kills himself at the end of X and Y, that just makes you kind of think that, first of all, I did not know Pokemon was going to go in that route. Like, I did not know they were going to go on a whole suicide. There's going to be some people being all like, oh, how do you know he committed suicide? Because he could have just ran away when the weapon. Nah, there was no way he escaped there was no way he escaped there in time. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. He realized that all his plans to create the perfect utopia were truly lost. They were truly done for. And so what's left to do is, you know, at least try. Even if you die at the end, it's good to at least try. That's what was going through his mind, if you ask me, on a character standpoint. And that just really shows, like, that really proves my point to why I believe Lysander is a not sociopath, is a psychopath, because he really believed like what he was doing was right, but as soon as he knew that he lost this fight, he just decided to end it all, even if it killed him. He was devoted to his dream, even if it killed him, and that's what made him a good villain. Now, the Emperor of Destruction. This is what destruction looks like in the human form. All right, this is your boy Guzma, or Guzma. I used to say Guzma, but a lot of people told me it was Guzma, so I guess it's Guzma now. I don't watch the dub, so I don't know how it's pronounced in the dub, but I guess it's Guzma, because, you know, everyone loses their crap on me because, you know, it's Guzma, not Guzma, you idiot. Like, okay, you know what? Fine, it's Guzma. But I really love Guzma. He is my favorite. He is my favorite antagonist up to this date. Like, normally for these lists, I don't really like doing like top 10s. I don't really like ranking my stuff because, like, you know, that's my problem with most like top 10s and stuff. It's like you have to rank these things, but like, how are you supposed to rank stuff if you like all of them at the same time? You know, that's why I just decided not to really do a ranking video, but more of a video that's more, not really a ranking all of these villains, just saying my overall opinions on what I like them for as a villain or character and stuff like that. Now, I love everything about Team Skull, their design, their actions, like, and I love how they're different from most villains. They don't really care about, you know, they're ruling the world and, you know, killing humanity and stuff. They just want to be the bad guy. They just want to be, you know, the thugs of the region, like. And I don't know, I really feel that, because, you know, Guzma, he felt like he was wronged by the world, and he felt like he was wronged by the Kahuna. Like, he thought that he just wasn't good enough. And the anime actually expresses this too for the trophies. He always won second place because, like, he wanted to be number one, but he always had that second place. And the way that he acts is like, you can kind of feel like how some people act in that scenario, because some people, it's like, you know, yeah, some people should be happy for winning second place, but I mean, yeah, he should be happy that he won the second place, but you don't really know how it affects that person. Like, second place is probably losing to them. Because they worked so hard to get to first place, and you can kind of feel that for Guzma. And most of my love for Guzma is from the games and the anime, because I love how his character changes after the events of Sun and Moon. Like, after the events that took place in Po Town, when you defeat him, because he's like, you know what, maybe I'm just a sore loser and I will learn to better myself. And you can kind of see that in the after story of Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, especially in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, when he helps you fight against Team Rainbow Rocket. And I don't know, but some people, they might not see him as a villain. I see him as a villain because, like, I see him as a villain turned good, because, you know, he was just someone who just had a weakened, who was in a weakened point in life. You know, he seemed like the more realistic villain. He only did what he did because he was actually wronged by the world. Like, everyone else, like every other, like, antagonist, they were kind of just like, oh, hey, you know, humanity did me wrong, let me just destroy it real quick. But Guzma, he didn't really feel like humanity did him wrong. He just felt like, you know, he was just in a dark place in time. Like, he was just depressed on how he could never win first place and stuff, and I don't know. His design is cool. I mean, I love how he has like I love how his hair is actually dyed white, and I love how I don't know. I just love his aesthetic. I actually cosplayed at him at one point. I don't have a picture, and it was kind of a bad cosplay because I didn't have the hair. You can't really be Guzma if you don't have the hair. Like, everything was good, but you know, I didn't have the hair. So you know, no one knew I was actually cosplaying for character day in high school, but you know, yeah, it sucked. I didn't have the time to buy a wig because it was so last minute, but I don't know. I wanted to. I wanted to get the wig, but you know, I have a big head, so not a lot of wigs actually fit my head. His character, I just explained what I liked about his character. He didn't, but no, let me talk about anime Guzma. Because anime Guzma is honestly just amazing. I loved how he kind of had this persona that he was just this big bad dude. He was unbeatable and stuff like that. And he never really understood his Golisopod's emergency exit ability. His emergency exit ability was actually, like, you know, why he would always, you know, escape from battles and stuff. And then, you know, Guzma's just over here like, my Guzma says you're weak and all that stuff, even though he just didn't understand the whole, like, emergency exit, which why in the league battle he was so furious when Golisopod went back in battle, and then, you know, Scizor took the freaking fire blast from Torracat during the league. Oh, I should have said spoiler alerts because some of you guys actually wait for because I know some of you guys actually wait for the freaking English dub to come out, but I mean, that's your fault because, I mean, you know, that's kind of your fault because you shouldn't be having to wait for the English dub. Just watch the sub version because, I mean, just read the subtitles. It isn't that hard, but, you know, I'm not a dub hater or anything, but it's like, I kind of need the anime at the now point, so I can't wait for like months to see freaking Ash's Miltank evolve. You know, at this point I don't really care. Like, I hate spoilers, so, you know, that's why I avoided them, but, you know, it's kind of too late because I already, what's said is said, so I can't really. Ash is the champion now. I feel bad for a lot of the English dub waiters because, like, they probably wanted to be surprised that Ash won, but, you know, it's all over freaking Twitter and Instagram that Ash won the freaking Pokemon League, so, you know, I was spoiled because I was actually waiting to watch the episode for myself. I always try to wait to watch the episodes for myself, but, you know, I was busy with YouTube and school and stuff, like in college and all that, and yeah, I was basically, they screwed me over. They screwed me over with that. But, you know, Anime Guzma, his character at the end, like, he actually knew that Golisopod, that was just his ability. He didn't really, like, Golisopod, like, he understood that Golisopod just did it because of his ability. And Golisopod, like, he felt like, and he actually knew Golisopod was trying his best to actually win this battle. But, you know, overall he lost because, well, you know, Ash is a god in Sun and Moon. But I don't know. I just really love Guzma. He's my overall favorite villain so far. We'll have to wait for the leader of Team Yell. And I don't know. So far, my opinion on Team Yell, even though the game isn't out, I don't really like Team Yell because they just seem like a cheap copy of Team Skull. So, you know, they can go die somewhere else. So that was my overall opinions, thoughts on every single villain from every single team leader from Pokemon from Pokemon. I honestly cannot wait until Sword and Shield to see who the actual main antagonist is. I just realized Guzma's not really a main antagonist. Lusamine is more, but again, as I said, Lusamine wasn't really a villain, so that's why I said Guzma, because, you know, Guzma, he had more character in my opinion than Lusamine, because Lusamine was just a corrupted soul, while Guzma, he just felt like he had no place on the planet. So, you know, Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys want more videos like this, leave a like and comment down below on what else you would like to see me talk about, like my opinions on villains from this show or that show, blah blah blah, like whatever. I'll do any like game or anime. Well, it has to be something that I've actually played and something that I can actually go and just play for free, or something that I can actually afford, because like you can't just say like, who's your favorite villain from the Marvel Spider-Man game, and I still have yet to play it, but I am going to get around to playing it though, so don't worry guys. Anyways, a little intake on why I actually made this video. I don't know, I just wanted to make a video like I always wanted to be a PokeTuber at some point, so I don't know, I might change all my content into just PokeTuber stuff, but I know some of you guys won't like that, so PokeTubing, like being a PokeTuber, is just gonna be something that I do on the sidelines a little bit, kind of like because my whole main point of this channel is like just to entertain you guys. I like to make the best content like I can. Like I just do a lot of content because I know some people are watching my content for my commentary, some people are watching it for my gaming videos. It's kind of a whatever thing. So it's good to have a mixed audience, because not everyone, you can't make everyone happy, but you kind of can if you just make some mixed. So I decided to mix it up a little bit, so that way people like people who like my little side series that I have, like Too Cool for School and all that, like people can watch that if they want, and then people who like my commentaries or reaction videos, they can just go watch that. It's kind of good to be all mixed up here. So I was thinking of making separate channels, but I decided then I decided that DeAndreX7 is just DeAndreX7 is just gonna be a multimedia channel, because I mean, one, who's gonna want to follow multiple channels of some guy who only has 500 subscribers, and who's also, and it's less stressful to just make it all in one, in my opinion. I don't know. Making this list was actually pretty fun. I like it where I get to actually voice my opinions, and I don't have to script anything or whatever. Like I actually got to voice everything from the top of my head. Kind of like for Too Cool for School, I don't make a script for those episodes. I just say whatever's on the top of my head. Like I make a plot for it, and then I just I just say random stuff. As long as it freaking ties to the plot, then yeah, it's Gucci. But for the Adventures of Saber Smith movie, I've been making a script, which honestly I'm gonna have to put that on hold, because I really don't. Because by the way, like college and stuff, and like my other YouTube videos and all that stuff that I have planned for you guys, that movie's not gonna be coming out anytime soon. So it's not. I wouldn't say it's canceled. Well, it's sort of canceled, but it's not canceled at the same time. But it's kind of on hold, so I'm putting it on hold. So I am going to be continuing the Too Cool for School episodes, and I'm just gonna have to pull through with what I actually have planned for Too Cool for School, because I don't know when I'm gonna actually upload this. I don't know when I'm actually gonna get this movie done. So consider this movie on hold. It's not canceled, it's just on hold. So yeah, for those of you who are actually excited about the Saber Smith movie, yeah, you guys are just gonna have to wait. During this list, I was thinking of making like a whole, who are my top 7 out of all the 7 villainous team leaders, but then I realized that I don't really want to do that per se, because I don't really like making videos where I rank things from like top 10s like that. That's my only problem with top 10 channels, because like it's like you have to rank things, and you have to have your reasonings for putting them in the ranking. So I just decided to make like a whole video where it's like, what are my thoughts on this topic, because I don't have to rank anything. But if I have to pick a top 3, it would definitely be Guzma, as I said, Giovanni as my second favorite antagonist, and like not Lysander, Getsis as my third, because Guzma, because he seemed more realistic. Giovanni, because I mean, come on, he's like the overall main antagonist of the Pokemon franchise, and Getsis is he's just a wicked being, and he actually makes you want he actually does seem like a real life villain to you. So yeah, so that I actually did enjoy this list. So again, leave a like if you want more videos like this, and comment down below on what other like topics you want me to talk about. Like if you want my thoughts on anything, just comment down below, and subscribe if you want more. I don't just make videos like these. As I said before, I do make commentaries, cartoons and stuff like that. So if you guys want to check those out, you know, just subscribe and click the bell notification, click the bell icon on the side, so that way you guys will be notified whenever I'm uploading. I make a video every Thursday and Friday at 6 o'clock p.m. But every Thursday is just a random video, and every Fridays is a new episode of my Pokemon Masters Let's Play that I'm doing on the channel. So there's that. So also follow my social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat if you guys want to be updated on whenever a new video is uploaded or whatever's just going on in my life, or you know, if you guys want to see me to see what I do outside of my channel, outside of the YouTube business, you know. Links to those will be in the description down below for you guys to go follow. My Snapchat my Snapchat username will be down there below if you guys want to add me and look at my story. You know, like look at my story whenever. I don't really like go on Snapchat that much, so you guys won't be seeing that much stories from me, but you know, there's that. But anyways, I've been rambling on for too much. So I love you guys. I'll see you guys next time, and subscribe and join the Turtle Army. DeonJoke7.